Welcome back to some more Umineko when they cry. In- Man, can you believe this? 50 parts in this bitch. And a lot of bunch of shenanigans going on and so forth. So when we last left off, oh man, I feel like it's been a while. Cause usually I usually upload shit like every couple days, around 2 to 4 days around the line. But the relatives are trying to figure out who this unknown blonde lady is, or aka the 19th person. I would. Oh, this is some fucking theory shit on my thoughts. I would usually thought Beatrice would be some sort of debt collector of the sort, and she would be working on some like high end company. And then there's this conversation between Maria and Rosa because Rosa wants to know who that blonde lady is as well. And then, you know, and in conclusion, Rosa is trying to. I think Rosa wants to prevent Maria from getting contact with the witch to just to avoid any sort of trouble. Even though I can be really safe to say that is just a very harsh person. Even though Maria enjoys this kind of fucking abuse. I mean, not Rosa, but fucking Maria. I'm saying straight up, Maria just enjoys this kind of shit, getting fucking hit constantly. You Rosa's a scumbag. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue reading because the goddamn phone keeps going on and shit. As Jessica rose with a forced smile from the bed she'd been sitting on, the phone rang. Before Jessica picked up the receiver, wondering what this could be about, Shannon looked at the clock and jumped. Apparently, she spent too much time on her break.
すみません。私、お勤めの時間を忘れておりました。
Yeah, it's time for work.
これで失礼します。
At the same time, Jessica picked up the phone. Shannon began dashing out of the room.
シャノン。また、いつもの時間に、いつもの場所で。
はい。失礼します。もしもし、ジェシカです。ああ、ゲンジさん。はい。シャノンは今そっちに戻ってますよ。
I don't think I've noticed from the last episode. I guess there's like some sort of. It looks like the map. I thought there was like a map in the very corner next to the window. This little gold looking thing. Like right behind Jessica. I thought it looked like a map. Could have sworn could be a map. Maybe it's just a little sort of decoration, just there for a reason.
私たちが引き止めちゃったんです。叱らないでやってください。
Yeah, blame them, not Shannon.
ええ、はい。
そっか。もうじき夕飯の準備の時間なんだね。
Hell yeah. I could go for some dinner already. Many plates were lined up on the counter in the kitchen. Preparations for dinner were proceeding steadily. The number of plates lined up there was 19. That was one more than should have set up for the annual family conference.
納得できません。どうして私が直接お届けに上がってはならないのですか。
I assume Goda wants to deliver the meal to the family head of the sort, maybe. I mean, you got the very most special guest who's the 19th person, so why? I don't see that big deal. Goda-san flared up at Genji, paying no heed to the pot that was spitting steam. The master enjoyed eating alone in his study, so his food needed to be served in that room. However, that was something that always happened. Of course, Goda-san would want to set the table for the master with his own hands, since he put his heart and soul into his cooking. Okay, let me just scroll up because there's a... Okay. It's just cooking. But the master had imposed a strict rule that none but the servants bearing the golden eagle crest enter his study. So while Goda-san would be able to greet the master from outside the study, not once had he been granted the honor of carrying his cooking inside. Wait, not even once? Are you kidding me? Goda-san was always irritated by this. Of course, he was a newcomer in terms of years of service. Yeah, that's because he has, like, previous work experience. But no, apparently he's got to be treated as a new servant. However, he had piled up plenty of experience from his previous jobs. Exactly. He was always shown from the previous episode. And he was quite confident that he'd been able to perform in front of Kinzo in a manner that would do him no disservice. And yet, simply because he was not permitted to wear the Golden Eagle, he still hadn't been blessed with this honor.
それが彼のプライドをどれほど傷つけていたか想像できるでしょうか。
I wouldn't imagine what it'd be like.
では今夜も再びそれを蒸し返しているのかというとそうではありません。今夜は親方様の他にもお部屋まで食事を運んでもらいたいという方がおられるからです。
Can't believe this kitchen looks like some sort of some high-end, restaurant in it. Kitchen of this one.
その人物は非常に稀な賓客らしく、当主である親方様と同格の扱いをするようにきつく厳命されておりました。
Okay, so why is it that servants that, why are ones like Kana and Shanna that have they work for a long time and they get the Golden Eagle, but they're more or less interested in having to work as furniture or being a servant, but you have Goda who is who loves his job, has previous work experience, but he doesn't have, which I don't know. I don't know how this work shit works, or the rule of loyalty beforehand.
ゴーダさんはこの賓客にぜひ自らの手で配膳してポイントを稼ぎたかったに違いありません。虚栄心のお強い方で親方様に配膳する資格はなくてもせめてそれと同格の来客には
Oops, I used the mouse wheel by accident.
昼食はどうしても手が開かずカノンさんに言ってもらった。
Okay.
虚栄心のお強い方でございますから親方様に配膳する資格はなくてもせめてそれと同格の来客には
Well, I assume the guest at the same rank it would be the 19th person. So.
だから一年で最高の晩餐である今夜の食事をぜひ自分の手で配膳したかったのです。ですがそれを源氏さんに咎められたのでございます。合田さんに片翼の足がないからということのようです。
Whatever happened to the golden eagle is in your heart? That's what it was given to Natsuki according to that previous episode. So what the hell kind of privilege is that?
再び資格がないと咎められ合田さんの堪忍袋の緒が切れてしまったのでございます。
That is some BS.
おいたわしや合田さん。私は物陰からこうして 見守るしかないのでございます。
熊沢さん、油を売っている暇があったら食堂の準備をしてきてください。
Oh shit. She got caught red-handed for just sitting around.
テーブルクロスは大丈夫ですか？
He's out here clutching his face.
これは失礼を。
Oh my lord. Treat it like it's some 5-star restaurant work. When it became her turn to bear his wrath, Kumasawa slid out into the hall.
ベアトリーチェ様は親方様と全く同格のお方です。ルールも親方様のそれと同じものを尊ばなくてはなら
Now we're talking.
ゴーダは自分の仕事に専念し、親族の皆さんのお相手をするように。
And at the end of the day, he's at least pleasing everyone, you know?
そのようなお客様相手に源氏さんならともかくこんな子供を生かせていいのですか？
Child? What?
もし何かの粗相があったら失礼に当たります。
He's referring to a she. Is he referring to Beatrice? What the fuck? She doesn't even look like a fucking child. That's what I was assuming what he said.
確かに彼らの年季は長いですが、しかるべきところで修行をしたことがあるわけじゃない。
I was pretty sure. I could be wrong.
正直に申し上げて、お客様に接する基礎ができていないのです。
Wait, what? Oh, let a child like this serve. Oh, he was referring to Shannon. Oh my god, I'm retarded. Holy fuck. That's kind of ridiculous for Goda start giving her shit, even though it said somewhere she'd been around for over almost 10 years. Goda spoke bluntly, even though Shannon was standing right there in the kitchen. Shannon was the one whom Genji had ordered to carry dinner to Beatrice's room. By the ranking system among the servants permitted to wear the Golden Eagle, Shannon certainly was the second highest in rank. Exactly. If the highest rank, Genji, went to set the table in Kinzo's room, then it fell to Shannon to set the table in Beatrice's room. Golda's pride was always horribly injured by this ranking system. At times like this, he'd speak out bluntly and rudely against Shannon and Kenna. Golda kept raising examples of each of Shannon's failures until now, making a ruckus about how she couldn't do this or was terrible at that. Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure she had enough confidence after Beatrice, gifted her something. Shannon, who listened to this with her head hung in shame, heard Cannon's voice from behind her. Cannon had been leaning against the wall in the hallway near the kitchen entrance, a blind spot from the inside, and had been listening to all of this. He probably knew that if he entered the kitchen, sparks would start to fly his way.
言わせておきなよ。最低の男だ。
I mean, Goda is an elitist. Of course he needs everything to be fucking perfect. The man's scum. I mean, would you call him a scum with elitism? Elitism? What else is new? Like, Natsuki's scum, like Rosa is a scumbag of a mother, from Cannon's words. What else is, I mean, it is opinion. I mean, when he says something about Rosa, he's not wrong, you know. I mean, how many times Rosa went ballistic in this The second episode was way more ballistic than the first episode. Like, uh,
でも接待の基礎の勉強になるし、合田さんはたくさん勉強してるからとても参考に。
姉さんは優しいね。
それより貴賓室のお客様がベアトリーチェ様だというのは本当なの？
I mean, if you look at her, she has the similar looks. Don't don't see anything shaded out of that. She does have the golden eagle crest on her thigh. That's all that mattered.
就職の配膳に行かされた時にあった。
Well, lucky you.
間違いなくあいつだったよ。
そう。お元気そうだった？
He has no words. Oh yeah, he he sure felt really damn embarrassed. Canon remembered that he and Shannon had different impressions of Beatrice. To Shannon, Beatrice was a cupid of love who had granted her magic to establish her relationship with George. Judging by the expression that rose, I mean, I guess according to Canon's perspective, Beatrice is nothing more than, what's a good way to describe her? A trickster, or something similar to what Loki does in Norse mythology. I don't know. That's what Canon believes, not me. That's what I judge. But see, that's what I love about. I'm gonna tell you right now, from this game on so forth, I always like, give my thoughts on characters more than the theories, because I sure know if I came up with a theory, I'll be called, oh, you're stupid as hell. Judging by the expression that rose to her face, it looked like she couldn't wait to inform Beatrice of how her relationship with George had progressed. However, Canon already knew. That witch came here with a terrifying goal in mind. The nebulous witch that only they'd been able to see in the past had now revived so fully that she could walk in openly through the front door, and even have dinner carried to her. Once, when she vanished from in front of Canon, the witch said something about how her own power was still weak. So if that witch was now appearing so openly, did it mean she'd finally regained her former power? And she said something else too. She definitely said she'd sown the seeds of love, while fully aware that they would fail. And she said even more. She definitely said that the day had finally come, upon which the door to the Golden Land would be opened. Now that's the thing right there.
シャノン。
According to the fantasy's perspective, the Golden Land is like the perfect, the perfect afterlife. While the human perspective think the Golden Land is nothing more than, false propaganda.
あいつは親方様と何かの怪しげな儀式をし、きっと想像もできない恐ろしいことをする。それには誰も抗えない。
何の話なの？
She's like, what the hell are you on about?
あいつはやってきたんだ。親方様が求めた黄金鏡の扉を開き、すべてを黄金鏡に戻すために。あいつは僕に確かにそう言った。
No words. In the past, the two of them, as furniture working for Kinzo, had been told what opening of the door to the Golden Land meant. So Shannon understood everything without having to ask a single question. And because of that, she felt a deep despair. Something tore at Cannon's heart as he looked at that expression twisted with grief.
そんな、どうして今になって。
だから言ったんだ。僕らは家具だって。人間の真似事なんかして恋なんかするから、僕たちの役目の終わるこの日を素直に受け入れられない。
いつかこの日が訪れることをかつては願ってた。でもいつまで経っても訪れなくて。私たちはいつまで家具として苦しめばいいのかわからなくて。だから私思ったの。安息の日なんて永遠に訪れないんだって。
僕だってそう思ってたさ。でも必ずいつか訪れるって僕は信じてた。だから僕は家具としての自覚を忘れなかったんだ。なのに姉さんは忘れた。
私が悪いのね。
Yeah, both Shannon and Cannon have like opposing opinions because Shannon is like, yeah, it's like, no, everything should be fine if you just, have a positive look on your face and shit like that. Cannon knows, like, well, he's taking this part really seriously because as soon as you fall for that kind of shenanigan, you know that something bad is going to happen because at the end of the day, anything can be a scam.
私が
ああ、姉さんが悪い。
It is Shannon's fault that is going to cause this shenanigans to happen.
姉さんさえ恋を覚えなかったら、僕たちはようやく訪れた今日を喜び合うはずだった。姉さんがくだらない未練を作ってしまったんだ。必ず去らなければならない世界なのに。
Huh. So if Shannon hadn't experienced love, then then all of this wouldn't have a bad thing would happen with Beatrice being fully revived, and then it lays into this sort of trick. But whatever happened to the quote without love it cannot be seen? Because if Shannon experienced love, she can see, the existence of Beatrice. And then you have Canon, with my own thing where it's like he's lacking the love, especially with the situation with him and Jessica. Does this mean that, Huh. Well, what if you experience love, then you wouldn't get killed off by, the quote unquote the fantasy of the sword, like like Beatrice and such. And if you and the ones who lack the love are going to get killed or they're going to meet his demise. Hmm.
儀式は 今夜始まるの。
It's definitely gonna begin tonight. You're too late to stop this shit. Like, there's no way there you can. Well, once you do something, you can't go back and rewind. Unless there's like some certain character out there that has the ability to time shift things, then actually, there is, but
あとあいつは僕に言った。今夜ジョージ様は姉さんに婚約指輪を贈るだろうって。
Oh shit. No words. That was a fact. George supposedly had an engagement ring hidden in his pocket today, and surely he would hand it over tonight.
あいつは姉さんとジョージ様を第二の番の生贄に使うつもりで二人の仲をくっつけたんだ。わかる？姉さんはあいつにそそのかされた上利用されたんだよ。
That is weird. So if the two become, I wonder what happens if we have like two couples becoming lovebirds. Would would they also like forge another thing in the rules of the epitaph that both couples gonna get sacrificed? Or I mean, Canon was being really rejective when it comes to Jessica, so maybe those two wouldn't end up being the sacrifice. But actually no. Wouldn't one of the relatives wouldn't be part of the sacrifice in the second Twilight too? I mean, judging from Shannon and George, it's going to be completely obvious.
そうだったの。考えたこともなかったわ。
でもあいつは言ったよ。
Told you what?
もし今夜その婚約指輪を受け取らなかったなら姉さんを生贄に選ばないと約束した。
Right.
僕たちが揃って黄金鏡へ行ける確率はとても低いと思う。13人が生贄になる。生き残るのは5人だけ。その中に僕たち2人が入れる確率は本当に低い。でも姉さんだけでもその約束が得られるなら確率はもっと上がる。
Now okay. The last episode there are 13 sacrifices. This episode, however, the sacrifices are probably going to be different. And one of their relatives would be the only one alive. And then there'll be some servants that also be alive after the first Twilight. The chosen 6 sacrifices could be random, because what it says, the roulette.
僕はかけたいんだ。黄金鏡には救いがある。僕たちはそこへたどり着き人間を手に入れるんだ。
So Canon and Shannon wants to be, alive at the very remaining, just so they can not be furniture.
そして姉さんと2人で 人間としての人生を歩みたいんだよ。
Live as a human together with Shannon.
そうすれば本当の恋だってできるかもしれない。
True love? Wait, that's strange. I thought Jessica and Canon has a thing with each other, but it seems Canon is more into Shanna because he's like, you know, it seems though two are, you know, close, quote unquote. No words.
かつての私たちは黄金鏡へ行けることを夢見てたね。そこへ行けばどんな願いでも叶う。私たちをこの苦しみから救ってくれる。そう信じてた。
However, in this ceremony, only a few people would be invited to the Golden Land, chosen by fate and chance. Everyone else would lose their life as a sacrifice midway through the ceremony. However, in the past, Shannon and Canon had thought that whether they reached the Golden Land or were sacrificed, they would still be released from their duties as furniture. That meant this ceremony would definitely bring release to furniture like them, no matter what happened.
僕は嫌だ。これまでの辛かった分を姉さんと取り戻したい。生贄なんてごめんだ。僕と姉さんは生き残る。そして二人で黄金鏡へたどり着く。だから姉さんを第二の番の生贄になんかさせない。頼むよ姉さん。あの男の指輪を受け取らないで。それを受け取らなければあいつは姉さんを生贄には選ばないと約束してくれた。
Man, that is one hell of a peer pressure right there. So isn't this like a lose-lose situation for Shannon?
それはできないよ。
Oh my god, see, it is a lose-lose situation.
今夜の指輪はとても特別なもの。
Oh shit. She doesn't have any other good choice to make, huh?
それを受け取らないことは私の心が許さない。
She has no other choice, huh?
姉さん、儀式の生贄は魔女が気まぐれに決めることになってる。その魔女が姉さんだけは見逃すと約束してくれたんだよ。姉さんだけは絶対に黄金鏡へ行けるんだ。
私だけ？カノン君は？
Yeah, what about you, Canon? What is your situation?
僕は魔女のゲームで十分さ。あいつの魔女なんかかいくぐってやる。僕は無力じゃない。わずかの確率を無理やり掴み取ってやる。
Sounds like a bit of a gachafon chance. It's like, what, we're bringing RNG into this?
僕たちのせいなんて所詮は仮初めじゃないか。本当の人生を始めるために僕たちは黄金鏡へたどり着こう。そして人間を手に入れよう。 そうしたらさ、僕も姉さんみたいに恋が知れるかな。もう家具だからって人を泣かせずに済むかな。
Well, you definitely made Jessica cry earlier, but apparently Kanon had a reason as to why, because he doesn't even want to end up as a easier sacrifice, or easily chosen. That what it is. When I don't know, man. When what sacrifice to go to heaven? I don't know.
カノン君。
僕はもう家具は嫌だ。絶対に人間になってやる。
Took you long enough.
こんな苦しみから絶対に。
There were tears in Kanon's eyes. By now, Kanon had noticed. Shannon hadn't been the only one to know and suffer from the taste of love. He had too. The tears Jessica had shown him that day, and Jessica's pitiful face as she tried to smooth things over and stay bright ever since then, had slowly wrought some kind of change on Kanon's heart without him knowing it. Huh.
シャノン。
That's an interesting part about Kanon's emotions. Like, he doesn't show his emotions until, like, he does it, like, to someone he trusts, which is probably Shannon. I don't know. Is Shannon, like, the only one he trusts? I thought it would be, like, someone like, Jessica. Maybe it's only Shannon. And that's it.
さっきから呼んでいる。
Uh-oh. Shannon jumped at the sudden sound of Genji's voice. Apparently he had called for her repeatedly. She hurriedly answered. When she turned back, Kanon had disappeared. It seemed that he didn't feel like showing his tears to anybody.
はい。ぼんやりしていてすみません。
昼食はカノンに頼んだが、本来は私の次の序列のお前が運ぶべきものだ。ベアトリーチェ様は当家の最高の賓客だ。それ以上の賓客はいない。もう一人の親方様と思い、丁重に頼む。
Well, lucky her.
よろしいですか。くれぐれも粗相のないようにお願いしますよ。経験の未熟なあなたに託すのは非常に心苦しいですが、当家のルールとあっては仕方ありません。くれぐれも頼みますよ。
Golda had officially agreed, but he glared at Shannon with an expression that told her he definitely wouldn't forgive any mistakes. Even Shannon felt that Golda might as well go himself if he was so desperate to go. But she considered this one of her responsibilities as one who had been allowed to wear the Golden Eagle and had to give up. And anyway, I wanted to meet Beatrice. What will I talk about? Oh boy, that's a good question. What will she talk about? What if she just doesn't, what if she just, politely asks no, that'd be too obvious. What if I don't want to accept George's engagement ring? Or what will happen if as all of Canon said was true, that if I accept George's engagement ring, then I'm going to be chosen as a sacrifice, as a high chance, like guaranteed. What will I ask? I don't know. Will this be a meeting of gratitude, or one of grief, or else what? I don't know. She's going to to meet its doom. Shannon piled the witch's food onto the serving cart and left the kitchen at a slow pace. The person knocking was Kraus.
お父さん、今日は年に一度の親族会議です。お父さんを一目見ようと兄弟が揃ったのではありませんか。
And I assume Kinzo's like, how about you fuck off?
黙れ。
Yeah, that's what I thought.
出ぬと言っている。源氏、そこにいるのであろう。なぜ私の指示した通りに食事をここへ運ばせんのか。
Kinzo screamed across the door. Genji was waiting behind Kraus.
お食事は書斎へ運べるよう準備しております。ただ、クラウス様が今夜はどうか下へ降りていただきたいと。
お父さん、毎日とは言いません。せめて今夜だけでも家族で揃ってはくれませんか。
誰が家族か。
I mean, they don't call you the family head for a reason.
貴様はいつから生き倒れを待つハゲタカたちを家族と呼ぶようになったのか。腐りて湧き出すウジ虫を家族と呼ぶようになったのか。
Damn. Fucking savage. Did Kinzo compared his sons and daughters as rotting, oozing maggots and maybe the grandchildren too? Holy shit. Oh man. Can you imagine being called that? Pretty wild, ain't it? No words.
やれやれ。
Kraus shrugged at this answer, which he had half expected.
源氏、言われた通りに食事をここへ運べ。なぜ言うことを聞かぬ。なぜ。なぜ。
源氏さん、後を頼みます。もうあの人に私の声は届かんね。
Kraus gave his head a small shake, then quickly turned his back on the door to the study. He had only come calling to save face in front of his siblings, knowing full well how useless this was. After Genji watched Kraus disappear down the stairs, he called again across the door.
親方様、お食事を運ぶ準備はできております。南條先生の分はいかがいたしますか。
Nanjo could be seen in the study, because Kinzo had forcefully pestered him into finishing their long-lasting chess game they had been playing against each other since the early evening. Nanjo had announced as a doctor that Kinzo's days were numbered, so he couldn't refuse if Kinzo demanded that they finish this game while he still lived. Kinzo was thinking deeply about his move, concentrating more than usual. It had been Kinzo's turn for quite some time, and Nanjo, who was tired of waiting, had randomly pulled out a book on magic that he couldn't understand and was skimming it.
金蔵さん、盤面を前に
腕を組むだけではいい一手は出ませんぞ。
Yeah, I can't even tell if you're just bored or you're just concentrating.
一つ休憩をして頭をリフレッシュしてみるのもいいのではありませんかな。
I mean, that's up to him.
黙れ。守りはこれで十分か。ビショップやナイトに隙間を突かれはしないか。
Today, Kinzo was focused on maintaining a strong defense. Normally, Kinzo's motto was that offense was the best defense. However, today was completely the opposite.
私も腹が減りました。ここいらで中断しませんか。それに休みなく頭を回転させておりましたから、もう頭がクラクラです。これ以上は私も最善手をさせるとは限りませんぞ。
それは困る。チェスは互いに常に最善手を指さねばならぬ。そうでない一手は理解に苦しみ、思考を読むゲームを狂わせてしまう。
They don't call studying tactics for a reason, then.
それでは今日著しくそぐというものだ。
Such a thing considerably reduces our enjoyment. Now, would you say spinning the chessboard around is like some sort of a way to study tactics? Kinzo sighed deeply and finally shifted his gaze away from the board. Chess isn't chess without an opponent. If that opponent is tired and wants to suspend the game, there's no getting around it.
確かにチェスの目的は勝利を目指すことで、互いにそのために最善手を指す。そしてそれを読み合う知的ゲームです。ですが勝利以外にもう一つ目的があることを金蔵さんはお忘れではありませんかな。
なんだと？
What? Pretty dead silence.
勝利以外にどんな目的があるというのか。
金蔵さんがそんなこともお忘れとは。チェスを通し親友と楽しい時間を過ごすですぞ。
Chess is a way to pass the time without. Chess is a way to pass the time having fun with a friend.
参ったな。
Huh, he agreed.
それは確かずいぶん昔に私がお前に言った言葉だったはず。これは参った。
I mean, Kenzo is playing chess with a family member. I wouldn't call it family member, but a family doctor and a friend. So it's not like there's any sort of competition. And, there's Badler and Beatrice. Make it look like they're actually playing chess, but, that's some sort of, way to argue each other. Kinzo, who almost always wore a frown, relaxed his face for once and laughed. Nanjo felt like he'd been reunited with a close friend he hadn't seen in ages.
そういうことです。一本取られたついでにどうです？私と下に降りて 食事と行きませんかな。
I highly doubt that's one way to negotiate.
食後にコーヒーと一緒にカスパロフの中盤についての議論でもいかがです？
Kasparov's middle game.
うん。
He seems to be hesitating really hard right there.
良い提案だが遠慮する。
I'm not surprised.
私はもうこの部屋から出られない。儀式は始まっているのでな。
Wait, so that's one thing I still don't understand is like, does he always treat his study room like as some sort of safe house, or is this some sort of like, as a way to like, to practice his way of getting Beatrice out and trap her in the cage, as what Beatrice would think.
そうですか。では私はお腹もペコペコですからな。下へ降りることにします。気が向いたらいつでも。
南條、ありがとう。
おや、何の礼ですかな？
お前とのチェスの決着はつかなかった。だが、私が忘れていたチェスの目的はどうやら果たせたらしい。それはどうもチェックメイトと同じくらい重要なものであったらしい。
らしくもない。何の干渉ですかな。
お前が言ったのではないか。私には余命がないと。もう行け。そしてもうこの部屋へ来るな。
Oh my.
続きは黄金鏡であろう。
That's one good way to say goodbye forever. No words.
いいですが、仕切り直しですぞ。ルークが落ちてしまったのは痛手ですのでな。それでは後ほど。
ああ、後ほどな。黄金鏡か、煉獄か。あるいは次の世で。
I always thought Golden Land is like, the heaven of happiness, and purgatory is like another word for hell, to be tortured in or something like that. But, I could be making shit up. I mean, like I said, theory or thought of the sort. No words. Nanjo didn't say anything beyond that, and with a motion made smooth by familiarity, he pushed the bottom on the table that would release the auto lock. Then, after looking at Kinzo's back one last time, he left the study. Well, there you have it. Alright. That marks a good place to end it off from here. Alright. We'll pick it up for the next part. So, like, comment, and subscribe. Let's see what happens, after Nanjo left the study room. Alright. Y'all have a good one.